The third Passover in Jerusalem. Jesus and the apostles finally found rest in a house of a wealthy believer near Gennesaret. Jesus spent those days having many informal discussions with the 12. The ambassadors of the kingdom formed a serious, sobered, and seasoned group of men. But even after everything that had happened, these 12, as later events showed, were still not entirely free from their deeply rooted ideas about the coming of the Jewish Messiah. The events of the preceding weeks had happened too quickly for these astonished fishermen to fully grasp their significance. It always takes a person a long time to change a firmly held belief in their mind. Especially when this belief has been ingrained since childhood, and when many people in your social network share this belief. And it is even more difficult when such a belief cannot be rationally refuted because it has been formed by great thinkers of earlier generations and coated with a religious veneer. They began to realize that the popular movement had not followed Jesus for his message, but out of curiosity and because they had become infatuated with the miracles. The large group of followers had disbanded. Some went home disappointed, and others moved on to Jerusalem to celebrate Passover. In less than a month, the number of enthusiastic, open followers of Jesus, which had been over 50,000 in Galilee alone, had shrunk to less than 500. Jesus discussed the event of the miraculous feeding with his apostles, telling them why he had created food for these people, and assured them that he had only acted so after he was convinced that this was in accordance with the will of the Heavenly Father. He warned them about the fleeting fame of popularity, that manifestations of religious hysteria are unreliable. He warned his apostles about these dangers because he knew they would face such hysteria more often, but he only partially succeeded in this attempt. Jesus told the apostles the parable of the sower again and added the following words. You see, appealing to human emotions does not make a lasting impression, and if you rely on that, you will be disappointed. Appealing solely to human reason is also empty and unfruitful. Only when you appeal to the Spirit that dwells within man is there hope of achieving lasting success. Only through a moved spirit can transformation in human character occur. For this reason, Jesus had begun speaking in parables. The story bypasses reason and does not evoke intense emotions, allowing the message, contained within, to land in the spirit. Jesus tried in this way to prepare the apostles for the shock that awaited them. He had recognized the dangers threatening his mission, and he knew that his counterattack would soon lead to a great crisis. He made it clear to the 12 that the religious leaders in Jerusalem would conspire with Herod Antipas to bring about his downfall. They vaguely foresaw the times of spiritual sifting and cruel adversity that were approaching. These 12 men gradually began to understand the true nature of their task as ambassadors of the kingdom. And they began to prepare themselves for the severe trials that the last year of the Son of Man's mission on earth would bring. On Sunday, April 3, Jesus, accompanied only by the 12 apostles, began the journey to Jerusalem to celebrate the Passover. To attract as little attention as possible, they traveled through Perea. He forbade them to give any public teaching during this journey so that they reached Jerusalem almost anonymously. The group spent more than 2 weeks in the vicinity of Jerusalem. Jesus entered Jerusalem only once, and this was on the great feast day. During these 2 weeks, they moved inconspicuously. They had contact with believers and with the apostles of John the Baptist. During this stay in Jerusalem, the 12 noticed how much the feelings towards their master had become embittered. When they left Jerusalem, they all felt that a crisis was at hand. On Sunday, April 24th, Jesus and the apostles left Jerusalem, and on Friday, April 29th, they returned to their headquarters in Bethany. Immediately after they arrived home, Jesus sent Andrew to the leader of the synagogue to ask for permission to speak in the afternoon service the next day, the Sabbath. And Jesus knew that this would be the last time he would ever speak in the synagogue of Capernaum.